Well, all in all, it's a long process. At first, it's to be turfed, which is really getting the last year's heather off the peat bog, so you're then able to cut it. Otherwise, it would be very very hard to cut. So that's the first step, just with a spade, and you take off a layer of turf, and then the kind of main job is the actual cutting of it. Then, which usually is two people. You can, well, you may have four people on it as well. It just depends who's available, because you cut at two levels. So but usually it's two people, and it's fairly arduous work. The peat which you cut, of course, is very wet and very heavy and very slippery, and you've got to bend down and lift it and then throw it out, which takes a bit of doing. So it's quite sore on your back and so forth. So that's the main job anyway, and it has to be laid out quite straight as well, and so it looks kind of decent, I suppose. And then the next process, then it's left to lie for a while, just out on the bog, so it'll dry a little bit, and then you make it into little stacks, just called rue in Gaelic, which you put one peat in the middle and one at each side, and one at each end, and one at the top, and then the wind blows through it, and also of course they're on their edge, so they dry faster then. So that's left for a couple of weeks, perhaps 2 or 3 weeks. It depends on the weather, of course. If it's dry, then obviously they'll dry much faster. Otherwise, it takes longer. And then, all being well, you get them home with the tractor. Again, that depends on the weather. If it's a wet period, then the road gets very wet, so you can't get them home. So that's quite. It's a shame. You've worked hard and then the peat is just left on the bog till you get it home. So that's really the main process of turfing, cutting, and so on. And then you take it home, of course, and make it into a stack, which again is a task which takes some skill, certainly. For myself, I don't have that skill, I must confess. But certainly new people, my uncle Michael, and people like him, who make very very neat stacks, which just look really good, and when made in a way that if it rained, the rain would run off the stack, so the peat would be kept dry. Otherwise, the whole stack would get totally wet. But so these are skills which were common at one time. But sadly, they're not quite so widespread now.